kind of hard to listen to Back Into the Wild without having a smile on your face. I mean, it puts a lot of images in your head of like hair metal and stuff, but this was fun. This was fun. Okay, we got a lot to unpack. Let's get to it. Hi there and welcome back to Japan, where we continue our track-by-track listen through to the new NEMOPHILA album Seize the Fate with track number 4, Back Into the Wild. And yeah, reviewing this song, as I said, is a lot of fun. For an album track, sorry, my phone is like vibrating right in front of the microphone. For an album track, this certainly did conjure up a nice bit of variation to the playlist of songs that we've had thus far. And again, this is one of the things I like. This album is giving us different colours. It's giving us different things. It's not just all sort of cut and paste rock. And this is what I was fearful that NEMOPHILA might do, that their songs, that I was waiting to hear them really burst out with creativity. And we're always honest on this channel, but I get the feeling of recent they're getting more creative, and Back Into the Wild is just another song on this album showing that they are really spreading out and doing songs with a lot more difference in character. So let's first of all talk about what it is. Back Into the Wild is really sort of a mid-tempo, head-banging song. Everything about it is going for that vibe. You really can imagine sort of like the long 80s hairdos and people just banging their heads and hair flying everywhere. Not something that I personally would know much about when I was younger. Maybe. I'm not that old. Anyway, I'm certainly not old enough to even remember the hair metal generation, but still I've seen the videos and that's what's coming into my mind when I hear this. It also kind of reminded me of the early days in the 80s when they were using a bit of synthetic sounds in some of the production, which really comes across into this as well. I mean, it starts with like a little bit of a synthetic rhythm quietly boom, 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 sort of playing before the full song comes in. And also when the guitars come in, there's a little bit of that sort of phasing, flanging sound happening over the guitar as well. It feels like not too much, but it kind of like what you'd have expected in those early days when you kind of had that arena hair metal and they were dabbling with a little bit of electronic sounds but not going overboard. So I like that. It had that charm. It had a sort of a retro feel to it, but at the same time it grabbed onto what makes that kind of music so fun to come back to and listen to, even for someone like me who is technically too young for that generation, but too old to have the hair to headbang with it. This kind of just brings back that sense of fun. It's mid-tempo, it's got a bit of grit, it's got that wonderful vocal that she does when she's really sort of singing with just a little bit of sharpness and grit in her voice, but at the same time it's kind of fun, it's a bit swaggery. I like that. It was a good example of how to do something that is a bit tongue-in-the-cheek, sort of swaggery, but not over the top, not sort of going too far. It was a nice balance of enjoyable melody and good rocking feeling without being too much, style over substance. Yeah, it really worked in that sense. One of the other things that really helped is that it was good at kind of staying fresh. For something of a song that doesn't have a lot going on as in chord patterns or particularly complex riffs, it was clever at filling out its time with some interesting sounds. I mean, overall the song stops just a second short of 3 minutes, which does make it a very brief song. In fact, I think it's the shortest song on the album. Yes, it is. So it doesn't outstay its welcome, but it still manages to deliver a full arrangement. And one of the things that really worked to do this was the vocals. See, we get that good quality singing that I was talking about, that good quality rock singing, but when we go into the chorus, which is a nice catchy chorus as well, we get a call and answer thing, which again, very reminiscent of that sort of 80s arena metal sound. It's nice how she's singing something and then she get the crowd shout the lyric back to her, the sort of backing vocals. It's kind of shouted back, which means that she can use her sort of shouting screamo vocal in a way that is appropriate. It has a nice sort of forceful call and answer. It feels energetic, it feels in place, it feels rhythmic, but just that variety, that variation in the vocal styles that we hear throughout the song allows us to have a song that fills its time better. It's one of the interesting things about NEMOPHILA. I've often said, I said in the previous review of Zen that one of my problems is that she stuck to the one style of vocal all the way throughout, and I didn't feel it necessarily worked. However, as much as I really love her singing voice, I think she's got a beautiful singing voice, using that variety of styles that she can do. And of course, Style is one of the songs coming up, but we did already review that when it came out, where she kind of goes into a hip hop mode there. When you've got the ability and the confidence to do different vocal styles, lean into it, do it. It adds something interesting. It gets a song like this and makes its runtime much more filled out than it otherwise would have been. So yeah, I think that was one of the things that really helped this song as well, was variety in the vocal style. So yeah, credit where it is due. This song for an album track is a really good little 3-minute time filler that actually feels like it adds, again, as I said, colour to the album. It makes the album a good album. So in conclusion, left a smile on my face. Like I say, added variation to the whole playlist. Who can not say that's a good thing? Didn't outstay its welcome. It flies by at 3 minutes. Yeah, this was good. I really enjoyed this. And so far, the album pointing in a very good direction at this point. So, yeah. This is good. This is good. This is much better than I expected. Next up is Rock and Roll Is, ? So Rock and Roll Is. We're going to cover that one together. So remember, if you want to see that video, assuming it hasn't already come out, you're going to want to like and subscribe, or you can dislike. Remember, you can subscribe so you can be here in time to dislike my next opinion as well if you want. But please do subscribe. Stick with us as we go through track by track every single song on this album. Looking forward to seeing you there. And until I hopefully do, from here in Japan for now, it's ciao ciao.